We're now four updates deep into the early Android 14 preview phase, and there's some new tidbits and pieces to uncover on eligible Google Pixel handsets. Here are though the top user-facing functions in Android 14 Beta 2. Our Android 14 beta coverage is made possible with the support of Casetify. The accessory maker crafts some of the most unique, high-quality cases using recycled materials for all types of device, including the Pixel 7 and the recently released Galaxy S23 series. You can pick up limited edition designs that span Star Wars, the American Office, and designs from some of the biggest stars and selective creatives on the planet. Plus, you can even get detachable phone straps so that you never lose your prized possession. Each case includes immaculate device protection, so stick around to the end of the video to learn more about their extensive accessory lineup. Getting right into it, Google has added a neat extra touch to the lock screen when you enter a PIN or passcode here in Android 14 Beta 2. So when you're tapping any of the buttons here and the input tracker itself is visible, you'll now see an animated option here with abstract Material U style icons such as rounded triangles, stars and more to indicate that you've entered characters or numbers. It's a nice little extra touch and one that helps tie everything together as part of this Material U overhaul that we've seen progress over the past few years. To also help you understand just what page you're currently looking at, the Pixel launcher on Google phones now has page indicators that are very iOS-like, at least in our opinion. These dot-style pop-ups will fade out of view after a prolonged period on one specific page, but are actually lifted right out from the quick settings panel, which has similar indicators already if you have lots of toggles available to you. The Monochrome theming option has also returned to the wallpaper and style section, which also overrides the default dynamic color settings which pull from your wallpaper hues. Instead of colorful quick settings toggles and menu panes, these areas will now adopt a simple black or white color scheme, depending on whether you have the light or dark theme applied. Although hinted at in a previous beta release, Android 14 Beta 2 has now enabled separate call and ring volume controls for some of you out there, and it isn't enabled across the board though. This may still need to be toggled for many, but if you head to settings, sound and vibration, you may be able to adjust the volume at which you hear callers through that earpiece on your phone or the volume of your device ringer. It's nice to see this separated, as it means you can take calls without actually affecting the ringer volume if you do like to have that at a lower or higher tone level. The expanded floating app menus that allow for quick access to specific in-app sections and toggles have now received a little bit of attention in Android 14 Beta 2 as well. When you long press an app icon, you'll see, or you would have seen, dividing lines or separators. These have been removed to help clean up the look of this section. This is definitely more in keeping with the Material U design principles, but the pop-up section has also decreased in size here slightly too, or at least it has to our eyes. The keyboard and language settings has now been completely separated and elevated within the system section of device settings. Previously, this combined languages and input section amalgamated all of these functions together. This just makes things a little bit easier to manage and slightly less confusing if you want to adjust the keyboard or the language at separate times. Android 14 Beta 2 also appears to refine and tune some of the animations that we've become accustomed to in our favourite mobile operating system. Swiping, scrolling and invoking menus definitely feels a little bit smoother than it did in previous builds, but you can also see some improvements to things like the pop-up customization menu in the Pixel launcher here too. This floating panel fades into view, then pops up rather than folding up like a concertina effect as it does in Android 13. This definitely looks cleaner and adds a little bit of extra visual flair. It also mimics the power menu animation when activating from the quick settings panel, so overall it's adding that extra cohesion that Google seems to be going for with Android 14. Added back with the developer preview 2, the flash notifications page now has an improved UI with a visual element to help you better understand what this feature can do on your device. The toggles are also simplified to camera flash and screen flash, with the preview button unaltered from that previous version. Whether it's a bug or just a tweak before we see more controls and functions, the popular at-a-glance widget definitely appears to have shrunk on some Pixel units like the Pixel 7 here in Android 14 Beta 2. It's still very prominent, but with the text and icons smaller than it has been in previous builds. That's not all though, as on the lock screen when you have media playing, the widget has some further changes. The temperature and weather condition icon joined the day information line, while the forecast data now takes up 2 lines. A new daily forecast text is also prominent here, like it's just to confirm to you that this is data from weather tracking agencies and it is giving you a daily forecast rather than a future monthly, weekly, whatever it happens to be, forecast for your local weather conditions. One cosmetic change that you might not notice right away is a brand new security and privacy logo in the settings menu. The shield icon now has an S shape rather than a check icon. It's not a major change, but it is a change you might have noticed or been unaware that you have noticed when you're in this separate settings menu. If you have developer options enabled, which you think you probably should given this is a beta after all, then you can try the enhanced contrast control menu. Tapping this opens up a pop-up menu where you can choose from 3 options: standard, medium and high. And this looks like it will replace the touted contrast slider that would allow for better integration with your core color choices as part of the Material U and dynamic theming system. The enhanced Android 13 Clipboard tool is getting a little bit of love here in Android 14 Beta 2, but it definitely feels like a work in progress as it's not fully operational or working every time. So if you invoke the Clipboard editing tool and then copy text again from within this window, then you can actually see a mini floating clipboard option. This doesn't always work perfectly in our testing, and it might be a neat option though if it does get some further attention. It's definitely nice to see Google adding some work here, as a floating tool could be a really nice touch for Android 14. If you also want to quickly adjust or alter system font size and settings, then there's a new font quick settings tile that allows you to increase text across all areas of your device. And this definitely saves the effort of diving into the display size and text menu and settings and allows you to just scroll along that toggle and increase it as you see fit. Of course, this is the most recent public Android build, even though it is technically part of a beta phase. That means that you can bet that it has the latest May 2023 security patch bundled in as part of this Android beta update. This should make this more secure for anyone foolhardy enough to run this preview on their device, but it is nice to see Google also keeping devices updated as they should with beta updates. So that's everything new in Android 14 Beta 2 that we've found so far. It's a lot of cosmetic changes, nothing truly groundbreaking, but when you do combine that with the original developer previews, there's definitely a lot more to test drive here. It feels a lot more stable and consistent than it did in Beta 1, and I'd be more than likely or more than happy to recommend this to many of you out there. Of course, we're expecting more changes as the beta phase progresses, but it is important to note that our shortlist includes most of the top user-facing features that we found at this stage, nothing you have to manually enable through console commands. I want to ask you though, what's your favourite if you're running this on your device? Let us know down in the comment sections below, so I was interested to hear your thoughts. And if you want to get our exclusive Beta 2 wallpapers designed specifically for this video, then stick around until after our sponsor message to learn how. Our Android 14 beta coverage has been made possible by Casetify, and be sure to check out their expanded lineup such as the Ultra Impact Case, which comes with plant-based linings and bumper corners to deflect dings and drops. Casetify's Impact Case also provides expert drop protection even up to 8.2 feet. Raised edges ensure the screens are protected from angular drops, and placing face down on a surface is no problem for your phone. The clear case isn't left behind with 6.6 foot drop protection, plus it is protected from UV light and even liquids such as wine to prevent staining or yellowing. You can get custom designs that complement the colour of your device here too. If you want to learn more about the extended Casetify lineup for all of your Android devices, including the S23, the Z Fold line and the Pixel 6 and 7 series, then head to the link in the description to get your device protected today. So as I promised, if you do want our Android 14 Beta 2 wallpapers, which as I say have been made exclusively for this video, then hit that like button and share with your friends. If you do hit that 2,500 like barrier, then you will find our trio of selection down in the pinned comment. I want to say though, thanks for watching. As always though, this is Damien with 9to5 Google. I will speak to you later.